the meeting. Um, Thank you everyone for joining us. It is ANC 6E April 2026 meeting, and right now it is 6:33 p.m. We will start by doing the call to order and roll call. 6E01,
Present.
6E02, 6E03, 6E04,
Present.
6E05 present, 6E06, 6E07, 6E08,
Present.
and then 6E09. So we have a quorum of five ANC commissioners. We have um, three absent commissioners and then one vacancy in 6E06. Moving to the next item, which is the approval of the March minutes. Again, if you did not get the chance to take a look at the minutes, you can abstain. Um, Commissioner Prince, would you like to make a motion as our non-official secretary?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I will move that we approve the minutes as in a version including the corrections that I just submitted to our note taker within the last hour. Two minor corrections in item 8. The rest is good.
Great, and I second that. So Commissioner Prince moved and Commissioner Bukalat seconded a motion to vote on approving the March 2026 minutes as amended. I will be calling on you to vote. Commissioner Al-Adif,
Aye.
Commissioner, is it Fedler?
Fiedler. Aye.
Fiedler. Commissioner Hans
Aye.
and Commissioner Prince.
Aye.
And I vote aye, so the motion passes with 5 ayes, 0 nays, and no abstains. And moving to the next item, which is an update from Councilmember Allen's office. I see John is here with us. Go ahead, Commissioner Prince.
I'm sorry if I'm missing an item. I don't have the agenda in front of me. Don't we usually vote to approve the agenda?
Yep. Yeah, that is correct. Thank you for reminding me. Um, yep, I will pull it up. Yeah. Can everyone see the agenda for today's meeting? So we did the first couple of items. Um, and then, well, maybe we'll vote again on the approval of the minutes just to be on the safe side. So we have the regular items, update from Councilmember Allen's office, from the mayor's office, the public safety update from MPD. We invited DDOT to do a presentation on traffic safety improvements. And 6009, we have a request for support from Georgetown University on the zoning time extension application. We have also a request for support from the NOMA bid for a project that we provided support for through a resolution, not financial support, just that, you know, saying that we support the project in 2024. and they want a new resolution. There's the Community Improvement District in Mount Vernon Triangle. There's a request for grant funding for Cobb Park community celebration. There's an item that the Office of ANC asked us to vote on, which is a technical issue that they would represent us financially to be able to um, allocate funding and give us funding in our bank system. And then, as usual, the open forum, and then we will adjourn. And the next meeting would be in May, on May 27, 2026. Any questions or any revisions? It's a full agenda, um, but happy to get your thoughts if you have any revisions.
I don't know if this is a huge deal, but just the numbering, if we want to just fix, I think
Yeah.
between 8 and 9.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks for playing that.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments? Okay. Not hearing any. I make a motion to approve the agenda for the ANC 6E April 29th meeting. Anyone would like to second?
Second.
So Commissioner Abukaloff moved and Commissioner has seconded a motion to approve the agenda for the April 29, 2026 meeting for ANC 6E. I'll be calling on you to vote. Commissioner Al-Hada,
Aye.
Commissioner Hans,
Aye.
Commissioner Prince,
Aye.
Commissioner Fiedler,
Aye.
and I vote aye. So the motion passes with 5 ayes, 0 nays, and no abstains. Just to be on the safe side, let's see, Kevin, is that could be Commissioner Rogers. Just to be on the safe side, since I missed voting on the agenda first, I'll reintroduce that motion. I make a
Can you hear me
motion.
now?
Yes, welcome,
Okay.
Commissioner Rogers. Just documenting that you joined the meeting and it is 6:40 p.m. So now we have a quorum of 6 commissioners. So I make a motion to approve the amended version of the March 2026 meeting minutes. Anyone would like to second that?
I'll second it.
So Commissioner Abukaloff moved and Commissioner Prince seconded a motion to approve the amended version of the March 2026 meeting minutes. I'll be calling on you to vote. Commissioner Al-Adif,
Aye.
Commissioner Rogers,
Aye.
Commissioner Fiedler.
Aye.
I vote aye. Commissioner Prince
Aye.
and Commissioner Hans.
Aye.
Great. The motion passes with 6 ayes, 0 nays, and no abstains. Now moving to see if John, are you able to join us? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, 6E. How are you?
well.
My name is John, and I work with Councilmember Allen's office, helping neighbors in the northwest quadrant of Ward 6. And 6E is a big part of that. And so I wanted to go through a couple of housekeeping things first before I do the legislative update. May 9th, as you mentioned, Chair, the community celebration for Cobb Park is going to be a great place for everybody to bring their families, to bring their partners, and enjoy the big community opening for that park that we have worked for probably 10 years with the sit-on, who has led the way. I wanted to also mention kind of the building update that I've been trying to put together. So we had Councilmember Allen was able to visit 400 Mass at the request of Commissioner Hans. And I think that went pretty well. I was out of town, but I understand that there were a good number of folks there who got some updates from him, as well as the ability to answer their questions directly. And then we also had a visit with Golden Rule Apartments that happened since we last met. Let's see, I've been working with Commissioner Rogers on kind of coming up with a laundry list with neighbors at Plaza West. And that has been going really well. Also, I wanted to mention we have a new DDOT liaison for commissioners to know that was our previous moker, Noah. So he will be joining the team shortly at DDOT to be our Ward 6 liaison. Other than that, I wanted to mention that we have next week on Wednesday, a week from today, we're going to have the budget town hall. That is an in-person, as well as I think we're going to try and stream it on YouTube, um, where Councilmember Allen gets up and kind of goes through the budget in terms of the priorities that he has compared to what the mayor has proposed, and then takes questions, asking neighbors to offer their ideas about their priorities, and concerns and questions about the council and how we rejigger the budget to approve before we send it back to the mayor. I do have a link for that, but if you go on our website, charlesallenward6.com, you can find the details for the budget town hall there, moving forward from this week to next. The other legislative update is the Fair Housing Bill to end common area utility fees is heading towards the final passage. So this is good news for residents renting in large buildings. I don't know if you've noticed, but there are a lot of buildings in Ward 6 and all around the city that all of a sudden the property managers are tacking on a common area fee that was not negotiated in your rental lease. And so we have tried to confront that. Councilmember Allen has sort of said the rent should be the rent, rather than some additional costs that are not noted in your lease. So instead of getting charged on top of the rent for utilities, they should be included in the cost of the rent and discussed before you sign your lease. So that's coming towards a final vote. And then there is a council pause on the Pepco disconnections. So we had passed emergency legislation to limit when Pepco can cut off someone's electricity for the next 90 days. That was limited to customers who owed more than $1,000. The reason for the pause is that in early March, a DC judge threw out Pepco's current multi-year rate plan that's been in place on customer bills since 2024 and sent them back to go through the process again with the Public Service Commission, meaning they're going to relook at their rates. Should the new plan be approved at a lower rate, it would mean Pepco has been overcharging customers since 2024. So when we're seeing everybody's bills spike, the council wanted to protect residents from disconnection who might have been overcharged and should never have been in arrears in the first place. The emergency law will only last 90 days. That's how emergencies work. While Pepco and the PSC redo the rate setting process. It is very unlikely it will be renewed in the future. Emergencies are just that. They're meant to kind of put a bookmark into a piece of legislation so that we can address something in real time, but also gather enough information to pass genuine legislation that's well thought out. I will say one thing that I've noticed on a couple of bills that have come to me through constituents, there's something called a cross meter concern. So this went all the way in one of the OPC's cases where We sent a case to the Office of the People's Counsel, who's the utility lawyer for residents, representing neighbors about utilities. DC Water is now a part of that, which has not been that long that they've had DC Water under their purview. But it means that you're paying for your next door neighbor. So it was not clear before, but there are some meters that are connected, kind of crosswise, where you're paying for them. They may be paying for you or they may not. So I just want to alert folks to that because it's something that took a lot of digging by the Office of the People's Counsel to get to the bottom of. Pepco is not a fan of moving forward with investigating. So that did get done, but I've never heard of it before, so I thought I'd flag it for folks. And I think that's all I have. Happy to take any questions.
Great, thank you. Commissioners, any question?
I have a question. I was just curious if Councilmember Allen has mentioned anything about the dog park, especially since the mayor's budget has not included that. I was just curious if he's mentioned anything about it or, yeah.
Yes, I think you'll hear probably next Wednesday, but I know that it's a priority for him to make some room in the budget for the dog park to be formed and fully funded.
Okay, thank you.
Other commissioners, questions, comments for John? Or constituents who are with us? Oh, go ahead, Commissioner.
I just have a
Excuse me.
comment. I think I saw this week or last that the council member introduced legislation to kind of pave the way for Waymo in DC, and I just wanted to voice my support for that and say thanks.
Do you have any information about that, John? Like, what are the next steps?
I do have a press release I can share. I will send that to you.
Sure.
That would be great that you can share it
Yeah.
out.
Great, thank you.
I think Greater Washington is doing a piece on it. They called today for to look at the law itself rather than just the press release.
Great, thank you.
I will
Constituents,
also just quickly make an invitation to any commissioners that want to have Councilmember Allen visit a larger building. We'd be happy to do that, and it takes some time to set up, but it's well worth the lead time to be able to organize a meaningful conversation and have the right agencies there if that's necessary, or to get the word out and really get a genuine participation from residents. So I just want to open that up.
yeah, I definitely do have a couple of buildings at least in my SMD. So I'll be reaching out. Constituents, any questions or comments for John? Not seeing any. Thank you for joining us. And I just added the link to the budget town hall in the chat so
Oh,
everyone
thank you.
has. And thank you for being here and joining us as always.
Okay, take care.
Thank you. Okay. Moving to the next item, which is an update from the mayor's office. Let's see, Shania has joined us. Thank you for joining us. We're ready for update whenever you're ready.
Hi everyone, can you hear and see me?
Yes, we can hear you and see you. Okay.
Good evening. Thank you guys for having me today. My name is Shania Proctor. I'm with the Mayor's Office of Community Relations and Affairs. I have some really exciting news today. Well, mostly just updates about some of our upcoming events and some of our community opportunities. So I'll just go ahead and start off with our upcoming event tomorrow in May 2nd. We have DC Department of Public Works, they're hosting an event called the Special Waste Drop, which is kicking off at the RFK Stadium in Lot 8, where you'll be able to come and drop off some of your personal items that is involving clothing and household items. And we'll also have Goodwill on site as well. We also have a special guest. Our DC Plow Princess, Kat, is going to be hosting an event. And she encourages the women to come to the event wearing crowns. Um, Going down to our new grant opportunities that just came up for FY26. We had the Capitol Hill Construction Impact Grant Program. That application opens up on May 1st. And it basically surrounds the program provides short-term financial relief to small businesses that was impacted by the District Department of Transportation construction nearby Pennsylvania Avenue Southeast, Potomac Avenue Southeast, and along 8th Street Southeast between Pennsylvania Avenue, Virginia Avenue, um, and yeah, basically around alongside that area. This information I can also drop the website where you guys can apply for it if you're interested in it. We also have the Technology Eco Fund that is also up for grabs now. The application deadline submission date is May 29th. Basically provides grant opportunities for organizations who are looking to accelerate and relocate in the District of Columbia. This is surrounding service opportunities involving like ecosystems and just things of that sort. Just want people to come to DC and invest in our community. My apologies if I'm out of breath. We also have our commercial property acquisition fund as well. Mayor Bowser and the Office of the Deputy Mayor's Office of Planning and Economic Development in partnership of the Council of the District of Columbia are investing 1.5 million in the commercial property acquisition fund. And so this is basically for DC based businesses that's looking to maintain or expand their operations in the District of Columbia up to at least 7 years moving forward. So that is going to be spearheaded by the City First Enterprise Group. They're going to be the grant administrator and point of contact for that program. And I'll be happy to drop that information or to email it to you guys as well so that you can share it. We did have some updates with a new legislation to provide additional protection to victims for that's involved with domestic violence. Friday of April 24th, Judge Puro and Mayor Bowser got together and they've introduced this new legislation. Some of the key provisions that they've provided in this amendment Act of 2026, they said that it's supposed to help strengthen enforcement of court orders to protect victims, strengthening parental detention of domestic violent offenders, enhancing accountability for domestic violence offenders, and then also protecting victims and survivors of privacy and safety as well. So those are some of the things that we have for this week. And I believe that is all of the updates that we have. And if you guys have any questions, I'll be happy to answer. If I don't have the answer now, I'll be happy to provide it as soon as possible.
Great. Thank you so much for the update. I'll start by asking the commissioners if they have any questions or comments for Shania, or constituents who are with us. Do you have any questions or comments? Not seeing any. Thank you again for joining us and for your update, and we will talk to you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving to the next item, which is a public safety update. See that we have Lieutenant Archer from District 1. If anyone else is with MPD and would like to present, please use the.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, hope all is well.
Yeah.
My name is Lieutenant Greg Archer. I'm with the First District PSA 101. Some faces on the call look familiar, others welcome. Just got a brief overview tonight. First, I just want to credit the officers in the First District, specifically in PSA 101 and 102. As you all know, things have been really challenging in the First District of even having this juvenile response posture. It almost seems like every day where we are engaging youth at various different locations in the community, Navy Yard, Chinatown, and other places, Noma, U Street, where they intend to congregate and sometimes be disorderly, and it really has an impact on other communities. So I just want to credit our officers for really responding to that particular issue, as well as still handling business for as it relates to just basic calls for service. In PSA 102, we're looking pretty good. In the last 30 days, we're down 69% as it relates to theft from autos, and 32% for the year. Year to date, crime is down 32% overall. So even as we are getting into these summer months where kids are going to be out and about in the community, we're still answering call for service and ensuring that community safe and doing what we have to do on that front. Uh, I have nothing other further to report. I think maybe Lieutenant Tutt might be on, and she wanted to kind of give an overview of what's going on in PSA 101. But I am excited about the Cobb Park opening. I was in a meeting earlier, and we were discussing that. Really excited about that, and I just want to credit you all in the community who have done the work to ensure that we honor Officer Cobb. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. But you all have any questions? I'll take some. If not, I'll just kick it to Tut if she's on.
Yeah. Would you like to go next, Lieutenant, and then again ask if there are any questions or comments for both of you?
Sure.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Lieutenant Ursula Tutt of the First District. I've been assigned to PSA 101. I just want to concur with Lieutenant Archer that the officers in PSA 101 and 102 are doing a great job. All crime is down in PSA 101 by 8 compared to last year. The only thing I want to brief out on is we had a significant arrest at 461 H Street Northwest. It was a robbery that occurred. 3 juveniles were standing in front of the location. They observed 2 adults getting into a verbal argument. The adults brought their attention to the juveniles. The adults approached the juveniles, and one of the adults brandished a handgun. The juveniles fled the location, and the suspect grabbed the speaker that the juveniles dropped. A lookout was broadcasted, and the first district officers immediately got into the area and stopped the suspects. 2 arrests were made, as well as 2 gun recoveries. So the officers were at the right place, right time. They were where they were supposed to be at. I did receive a call from one of the ANC commissioners on scene, so I just wanted to brief out on that significant arrest that we had made.
I have a quick question. I'm just curious. When did this happen? You said it was 461 H Street, right?
Yes, 461 8th Street Northwest, April 18th at 8:18 p.m.
Okay, yeah, that's my SMD. I hadn't even heard about it, so thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for the update. I'll start by asking commissioners any questions or comments for the lieutenants. And also constituents, do you have any questions or comments for MPD? Okay, not seeing any. Thank you again for joining us, and we will talk to you soon.
Stay safe.
Thank you. think we're a little bit early. Um, see, maybe we can switch up things a little bit. Do we have anyone from DDOT right now? Okay, great. Um, Thank you for joining us, Kelly. I will pull up the slides for you to present.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you? Thank
Is,
you
is it
for
my turn? I think I joined a little early, but looks like
yeah, no, it is your turn. We're a little bit early with
perfect.
so I'm glad that you're here. I will pull up the um
Or do you mind if I share my screen so that I can kind of,
oh, of course.
yeah,
Yeah, that works. Yeah, if you have
sure,
it up.
I'll do
Yeah.
that. Let me see. Okay, can everybody see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, everyone. This is Kelly Jong Olson, Communications Manager under Traffic Safety Administration. So we issue lots of safety related improvement. I'm sorry, notice of intent for safety improvement. So this one was actually issued back in March, but I missed your last meeting, so I'm here a little late. So the NOI is actually just expired a few days ago, but we are extending the comment period to make sure that we receive comments from AN6E. So let me just go over what we are proposing, and we're happy to um, receive any comments and questions from ANC 6E commissioners and also the residents. So we are proposing some safety improvement at the intersection of Mass Avenue, 5th Street and I Street intersection. As you may are already aware, it's kind of interesting multi-street intersection. So we are proposing multiple things, but I'm going to show you the map, then we can go over together. So there are this is like two signalized intersection together, and each intersection we are proposing to do the no turn on red restriction. This is kind of a really proven safety measure to protect the pedestrian, especially crossing with the green signal on vehicular traffic. So we want to make sure that there's no conflict between the drivers and the pedestrians. So we want to implement those no turn on red on both intersection. And we are not removing any legal parking, but we know that there are sometimes cars are parked or standing within those illegal parking area. So we want to clearly mark those areas so that drivers know that those areas are not allowed for parking. We may add few flex posts just to reinforce the no parking zone, but it's not going to be a lot, maybe one or two just to um, notify the drivers that it's no parking zone. And one thing I want to highlight is this new left turn restriction right here. The reason is mainly because first, the vehicular traffic turning left from southbound 5th Street to I Street is really low. The low volume for the left turn vehicle, that's one thing. And the pedestrian traffic crossing this crosswalk is a lot. So it's perfect opportunity to make it perfectly illegal. That way, the pedestrian has no conflict with the turning vehicles. So we are proposing new no left turn restriction here. And other than that, we don't expect any big changes within the intersection, but the main two thing is no turn on red, both intersection, and new no left turn restriction at 5th and I Street intersection. I will stop here and I'm happy to take any questions.
Great. Commissioners, any questions?
Go ahead, Dale.
Go ahead, Commissioner Prince.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for the presentation. Just for clarification, I am somewhat familiar with this intersection, but if you are on Fifth Street going south,
Mhm.
is it permitted to turn left onto Massachusetts Avenue?
That's my understanding, but I can double.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, because I completely agree that the only reason you turn left onto
Exactly.
High Street
You
as if
get
you
to,
had
yeah,
sort of
match
missed your
everything.
turn and
Exactly.
realized it.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
thank you.
Commissioner Hans and then Commissioner Alade.
Yeah, my question is, so I imagine this was all studied before these recommendations were kind of made. Is that correct? And I guess what do those studies entail?
So basically, I think it was identified as, let me double check on this here. Um, They didn't mention it here. So we have proactive locations for vulnerable roadway users. So those areas, I mean, this intersection is one of the intersections. The data shows that a lot of like pedestrian or vulnerable roadway users, such as cyclists, injury intersections. So we identified an intersection based on those data. So we have a multiple like list of intersections that this is part of it. So based on that, we started the investigation and evaluation to make sure what we can do to make those vulnerable roadway users cross or use this street safer. So yes, we did. I mean, I wouldn't say traffic study per se. We did evaluation of this two intersections to see what else we can do.
Okay, and I guess was there any emphasis on like how is this going to affect traffic flow? Because that this area also gets really backed up. So yeah, maybe safe for pedestrians, but what is it going to do for the traffic?
I can double check, but I'm sure they looked at the volume because that's why they come up with this left turn restrictions. So they checked the volume for the turning vehicles and the crossing pedestrians. Yes, they did look at it, but I mean, I can double check and I get back to you via email, then written response. But based on the proposal we are doing is pretty minimal in because we are not changing any lane configuration. We are not introducing any new control. For example, like new stop sign, no traffic signal, nothing like that. So all traffic signal will be in the same, we're not going to change any traffic sequencing. But of course, yeah, since we are restricting no turn on red, there may be some impact for the turning vehicle, but that's the safety standpoint.
Got it. And then another question I have is just I want to make sure I understand. So there's going to be you're not allowed to make a left coming down Fifth onto I. Is that what we're
Yes.
saying? But you are allowed to do it on Mass. But
Yes.
I guess my question is, why is that the recommendation when that's already a light volume anyway?
Because it's light volume, the pedestrian may not even expect those left turn vehicles, so they may not pay attention. That's when the crash could happen, right? So you have low expectation of vehicle may come to me, right? Because it's low, no one's gonna do it. So that's why we want to make it fully illegal, meaning yeah, pedestrian feels, more confident when they cross.
Okay. And then the other question was, is there a way that there could be consideration for maybe you can't make a left between certain times? Or do you guys want to do a blanket no left turn at all?
Actually, we have a lot of, proven like document studies about those time limit restriction. I know that there are certain locations we still have those, but we are trying to remove those, making it all full time because first of all, those time restriction is really hard to enforce. Of course, enforcement is another, MPD's role. MPD is busy with other of their tasks. So we are trying to be away from those any time limited, the restrictions such as certain area has a one-way time restriction, left turn, certain it caused a lot of vehicular, conflict and confusion. So we're trying to be away from it.
Okay, sorry. And my final question is where it has the capital bike share on
Yes.
I.
Uh-huh.
My one actually resident pointed this out that there's, I believe, a yield sign over there to make folks slow down. However, when there are leaves on that tree, it is almost completely covered. So the
Okay.
thought was, is there a way that we could move that yield sign from the side of the Capitol bike share stand to the other side? So that
Sure,
would
yeah.
be,
So
yeah.
you're
So I
saying
don't,
that currently it's covered by the tr tree?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Whenever there's tree, like when there's leaves and stuff,
Mhm.
it's generally covered. But
Okay.
yeah. So I
We
wanted
can
to see
make
if
it
that was
happen.
something you
That's
guys
part
might
of this.
consider.
Yes, that's simple.
Okay,
Mm.
thank you.
Great. Commissioner Alade and then Commissioner Prince.
Yeah, so Kelly, I totally hear the reason for that no left turn sign, but I think it's a bad idea. That is the only people I'm guessing who are making that left turn are people who live at that or getting cars picked up or driving to an apartment building that is right there, that is only accessible just south of that Capitol bike share where that
Mm.
logo is. And so if they're not allowed to make a left turn there, what would I would guess end up happening is more dangerous right turns off of Massachusetts Avenue, or forcing people to go all the way around and to be going straight on I Street to be able to turn into that apartment building. It's like a 13-story apartment building, a lot of residents there, so that would be a huge burden on a lot of people. I would love to reconsider that left turn sign, especially since it's not happening very often to begin with, but it would make a massive burden on the people living in that location.
Yeah, thank you for the comment. Let me just definitely double check because I don't think there's any like driveway or like car access point on that part of the I Street. However, you're saying maybe some pickup and drop off activity happening in front of the building, right?
It's the main entrance for that
Okay.
building.
But then, oh, I see. Yeah. I mean, I know it sounds kind of, not very considerate, but when we introduce as a new restriction like this, or let's say sometimes two-way becomes one way, and those inconvenience definitely, impact a lot of residents. However, residents and users will kind of slowly learn how to not use Fifth Street southbound. Instead, you can either take Sixth Street and go to the I Street, which is one way, right, between Sixth and Fifth Street. So that way you don't have to make any turns, like go straight, and you can still access the area. So that, but I still understand your concern, and I'll definitely get back to the team and see what we can do.
Thank you. Also, is there a reason why there's not a pedestrian crosswalk on the north side of Massachusetts at this intersection?
Where are you referring to?
But on Fifth Street on the
Uh-huh.
north side of Massachusetts, so before I Street, there's one on the other three
Hmm.
making a U, but there's not a crosswalk on the north side of that.
I see cross up everywhere. I'm not sure if I'm following.
Higher up than you are right now.
Higher.
Like, yeah, down a little bit in
Okay.
that intersection. Yeah, between those
Oh,
two.
so the crosswalk is not there. This one that I'm.
No, I'm the north side of that. So you're
Oh,
pointing at the
this.
east side right now.
Oh,
No,
no,
like south of between I Street and Massachusetts.
between I and Max. Okay, right here.
Uh,
I'm sorry.
no, so the
You mean
going
here
left to right on the screen. No, on Fifth Street between
on Fifth?
yeah,
Yeah.
between the higher I Street and Massachusetts, there's no
Oh,
crosswalk.
higher I. I'm sorry.
So down and then the middle, going across Fifth Street.
The here, right?
No, going across Fifth Street.
Going cross here. There's nothing here. This crosswalk you're seeing is not. Oh. Oh, I'm
Thank you,
sorry.
Dale.
Oh, the crossing. Okay, I'm sorry. I was like, okay, I was looking at I think there was a reason for it because like too many crosswalk, meaning you need to add one more conflict or the or new signal. I'll definitely double check. But I'm not
Okay.
sure if we can edit part of it. But yeah, thank you. I was like confused. Thank you.
Thanks, Dale. Yep. Thank you for looking into that.
Thank you. By the way, how did you put this little circle there? Who did? I'll just.
I did. I clicked on the pencil for editing
Oh,
in the lower
the Zoom
left-hand
has that
corner
function?
and selected a color and yeah.
That's great. All right, I'll definitely check. So yeah, I'll definitely get back to ANC commissioners, all of you, to all these questions that I got. So I'll get back to you.
And Dale, you said you're bad with technology. Look at that.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Commissioner Prince.
Thank you. Okay, so it just one question here about the southern Fifth and I intersection, where it says relocate stop bar 25 feet from existing location. I don't know where it is now and what the purpose of the relocation is. Can you talk about that just a little bit?
Yeah, I need to look at the
I mean,
existing.
those are weird places because they're so short.
Yeah.
And I know in one or two places it says like if you after you turn left, prepare to stop. And on the north side, when you're on I and you go west and you turn left, people kind of form often a sort of de facto two lanes southbound. And some of those people are turning left onto Mass. Some people continue south on Fifth. But on the other side, if they were coming off of I guess this is the stop bar for people coming south who, yeah, I'm just curious. It caught my attention. Are we increasing the space there or decreasing it? I think the concern is that maybe some cars will try to hurry through the intersection and get stuck on mass and block traffic. And right there at that corner at the park, there's a bus stop, if I'm not mistaken. And anyway, I just wanted to raise that question. Thank you.
You're talking about this stop bar relocation, right?
That's right.
So based on this map, it looks like we were making it closer to the intersection. Maybe it's too kind of far away, meaning only one or two car barely can fit. So I think we're making it longer, but I'll definitely double check. But based on the drawing, I think we're making it kind of longer. And with this new gore marking, I think it makes sense and more clear. So I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure we're making it longer so that at least like two or three car can safely fit instead of one or two.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions, Commissioner or constituents? Um, so I think we collectively like have more comments than like one stance, right? About approving or disapproving. Possibly just sending our comments in a letter would be better. When is the new deadline, or there's like no new official deadline
No
in?
official, but I can personally make it, longer. So that what about this?
Okay,
This meeting, tomorrow is Thursday, so I can send you the email with what I heard. Then we can kind of create a
yeah,
one email chain. We can just back and forth. That's gonna be our kind of a comment email
yeah,
chain. Then we can accept it as an official comments. At the end, if you agree and if you support, you can just send it back to us and we can implement that way.
okay. Sounds good. Yeah, maybe getting back to us via email with some answers if possible about the questions that the commissioners had.
Definitely.
And then we can take it from there and see what's the best way to provide input.
Sounds good.
Thank you again, Kelly,
Thank
for
you.
joining us and
Thank
answering
you.
our questions. This was very helpful. Thank you and have a good night, and we will stay in touch.
Yep. Thank you so much.
Primary, know that we're a little early, but I see Corey with us.
For Abu Khulaf, is it also possible to elevate Chris Leonberg as well?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yes, yeah. I will pull up your slides. Um,
I'm also happy to share if that's easier, whatever works best.
I could share too. We all have
yeah,
them.
if that works for you, that works for me too.
Lee, do you have a preference? I'm happy to do it.
Sure. If you want to pull it up, that sounds good.
Got it.
Awesome. Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Lee Templin. I'm with the law firm of Goulston and Storrs Land Use Counsel on behalf of Georgetown University. I'm joined here tonight by Corey Peterson and Chris Leonberg with the university. And we're here to discuss a 2-year time extension of the design review approved in Zoning Commission case number 23-10 for Georgetown's new law building. Corey, if you could go to the next slide, please. Thanks. So as you can see here, the property is located on the university's Capitol campus, and it's currently improved with the Gewirtz Student Center. And then the next slide. Here's a site plan to further orient you. There's the Edward Bennett Williams Library on the north side of campus, McDonough here at the center, and then the site is here outlined in red. Next slide, please. So the design review order approved construction of a new 130-foot tall building with academic, office, clinic, and convening space. However, due to rising construction costs, the university is undertaking a redesign of the project and needs additional time. So we requested a 2-year time extension in Zoning Commission case number 23-10B. And just a brief overview of the time extension standards that are in subtitle Z, section 705.2, and how the application meets them. First, an extension request must be served on all parties to the application, who are then given 30 days to respond. So we filed this application on March 27th, served it on ANC 6E, and then we requested that the commission not place the case on its meeting agenda for 30 days. And the commission will consider the case tomorrow at their public meeting on April 30th. Second, there should be no substantial change to any material facts upon which the commission based its original approval. Here, there have been no substantial changes in any of the material facts. There's been no change to the zoning regulations or the comprehensive plan that would adversely impact the material facts on which the commission based its original approval. And then next slide, please. And then finally, there should be good cause for the extension, such as an inability to obtain sufficient project financing following an applicant's diligent good faith efforts because of changes in economic or market conditions beyond an applicant's reasonable control. And here, the university diligently advanced design of the project following approval of the order and actually completed construction drawings in 2024. However, when the project went out for bid, construction costs had risen significantly. That complicated the economics of the project. Therefore, the university is currently undertaking a redesign of the project. There's been recent leadership changes, of course, at the university, and additional time is needed to give those new leaders the opportunity to review the redesign before it's finalized. The university is planning to file for a modification of the design review once the redesign is finalized, and will, of course, be back here in front of ANC 6E at that time to present the modification. Next slide, please. So with the time extension, the deadline to file a building permit will shift to April 5th, 2028, and the deadline to commence construction will shift to April 5th, 2029. And next slide. So as I mentioned, the university will be back here after filing the modification to present the redesign. The commission takes up the time extension at their public meeting tomorrow, and we're here to request a vote of support for that time extension. And with that, we'll conclude and happy to take any questions.
Commissioners, thank you for the presentation. Commissioners, any questions or comments?
I have a couple of questions. Is this the first extension being requested?
Yes, this is.
Is this the building where Georgetown came before us some time back about its height, and we approved and going beyond something, the height too. Okay. Do you have any insight? Maybe it's premature about the design review and whether, for example, additional height might be requested?
No, the height is going to remain the same at 130 feet. So I think you're talking about the text amendment. It was case number, I think it was 22-27, where it changed the text of the regulations to allow this 130-foot height for the site, and with that mandatory design review, which is what we went back to the commission for the original design review case to approve the design and the 130-foot height. But when we come back to the modification, the height will not be increasing.
And changes to the footprint of the building?
That I think it might be too premature to know. I don't know, Chris, if you want to speak to that at all.
Sorry, there we go. Yeah, I can speak to it a little bit. I do think, as Lee said, we're still working through what the redesign might look like. I think the footprint may change nominally. We don't anticipate a major change to the footprint. I'd say at a high level, since costs were a factor, we will be looking at, if anything, a smaller footprint. It would not be an increase. It would be probably a slight decrease, if anything.
Yes, and I think we also discussed at a previous time the signage on this building. Am I correct? And did that involve lighted signage?
that was
On
the
this building, I know we considered one for 111 Mass Ave, but
Yeah, that was the case before this 23-10A, and it was a modification that included approval of signage. I do believe it was illuminated. Um,
yeah, okay. Well, there
I
nobody
can
really
actually double
lives,
check that really
right?
quick.
It's not close to any residences, but it will be close to a hotel in the future,
Right, that
I
is true.
think.
Yeah.
So always a consideration. All right. No more questions for me.
Commissioners, any questions? Constituents, any questions? Okay, just before we move to debate, making sure that we captured the ask, it would be waiting on a ANC 60 resolution in support of zoning commission case 2310B, right?
Yes, 23-10B.
Okay, and that would be for the 2 year time extension. Okay, great. I don't have any concerns. I switched that the environment was better for completing projects, but it is what it is. I understand the financial issues. Okay, we'll thank you for joining us. We'll move to consideration and then vote on the resolution. And if it's approved, I'll work with you offline to send you the final resolution.
Sounds good. Thanks so much.
Sounds
Appreciate
good.
that.
Thanks for the consideration.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioners, any comments before we vote on the resolution?
Yeah, I would say I don't really see any concerns here, and I don't feel like we've heard any like complaints or anything from the public on this. So they've been a good partner, so I'm comfortable with this.
Yeah. Um, okay. Okay. Um I move to vote on a resolution that shows ANC 60 support for zoning commission case 23-10B for the requested 2 year time extension. Anyone would like to second?
Yeah, I second it.
Okay, so Commissioner Bukalov moved and Commissioner Han seconded a motion to vote on resolution that shows ANC 60 support for zoning commission case 23-10B for a 2 year time extension. I'll be calling on you to vote. Commissioner Rogers,
Aye.
Commissioner Al-Adif,
Aye.
Commissioner Fiedler.
Aye.
I vote aye. Commissioner Prince
Aye.
and Commissioner Hans.
Aye.
And with that, the motion passes with 6 ayes, 0 nays, and no abstains. And now we can move to the next item. Since we're a little bit early. Oh, we have Ryan Smith from the NOMA bid here. That is great. If anyone else is with the NOMA bid who would like to present, please use the raise hand option. Thank you for being flexible, Ryan, and joining us early.
Sure
Um,
thing.
it's hard to guess if we're going to be going faster or slower than expected.
No problem.
I will pull up your slides. Let me know if you can see your slides and I can just move through them.
Okay, great. Fantastic. Well, first of all, thank you all for the opportunity to present to you this evening. I'm Brian Smith. I'm the Vice President of Planning and Economic Development at the NOMA Bid, and I'm here to present a project that some of you may be familiar with. We presented this to the ANC several years ago, but it's a project called the Noma LA. We garnered your support years ago and have some updates since the project has progressed over the last couple of years. And so we wanted to share those updates and also ask for your support. Ahmad, will you be able to go to the next slide or should I? Okay, perfect. So just as a reminder of the location of the Noma LA, the Noma LA is the area that's east of, it's on the east side of First Street between L and M Street. So this is an image, it's right in the heart of the neighborhood. So I think many of you may be familiar with this location. It's DDOT owned and it has a number of some older, I think there's the cova trees, and most of them are in fewer in good condition, but most of them in fair condition. And we would love to find an opportunity to activate this part of the neighborhood. Next slide, please. So again, as I mentioned, just to kind of do a quick, um, oh, so the next, sorry, the goals of our project. Uh, so the project history. So as I mentioned, we first presented this to the ANC 6E back in March of 2024, so just over 2 years ago. We presented a project to again activate this space with uplighting at the time. Since that time, we've been working with urban forestry, and we sort of went back and forth and negotiated. For a while, they had a little bit of a problem with uplighting because they mentioned that it could be confusing to birds. And so we went back to the drawing board to find some other opportunities to add lighting to this space. And so that's what I'd love to present with you today. Since that time, also engaged with a local artist to create a really compelling design for the alley. Again, one that um, emphasizes our goals of activating this space, but also meets sort of the needs of urban forestry. I'm happy to report that as of earlier this month, we did receive a final approved tree preservation plan, which I'll present to you in just a moment from urban forestry. So that was our major hurdle with this project previously, but we've again come to a good agreement with urban forestry and have an approved tree preservation plan. And of course, now we're here at ANC 6E. Next slide, please. So the goals of this project are several. One, as I mentioned, is to really create a really compelling public space. It's a relatively large public space, even though it's about 17 feet wide, but it's very long. It's almost 2 city blocks. And so this project would provide a continuous green corridor, connecting what has become two really important nodes within the neighborhood, sort of the um, typical important intersection of First and M Street with what is sort of emerging as another important node at First and L. So this will help to link those two important nodes within the neighborhood. It will also improve safety with additional lighting along a section of First Street that is relatively darkened. The one thing that we've noticed is that those trees, while certainly beautiful and certainly providing a fantastic canopy, they do tend to shade the street lights that are adjacent to the trees. And so that walkway, which is very activated at all times of the day, is a bit dark when the lights go down. And so this project would seek to improve safety with some additional lighting. We'll also enhance connectivity, as I mentioned, between the north and south sections of the neighborhood and those two really important nodes. And we think it'll contribute to the bank of already exceptional outdoor public spaces in the neighborhood. We think this can be a new addition to that bank of outdoor public spaces. Lastly, we want to create a place where we can cultivate a welcoming environment, a place for the community to gather, and really a true destination for pedestrians along a very busy, a very important part of the neighborhood. Next slide, please. So, as I mentioned, there are a few elements that will be a part of the NOMA Alley, and I'll sort of go through some of the major highlights, which I'll show in just a few moments. One of the big benefits for this area will be the tree care and the landscape improvements that we will add. So, the bid will improve the area by and improve the area beneath those existing trees. We're going to aerate the compacted soil. As you may notice, that soil is just really, really tight there. And so we're going to aerate that compacted soil, which should provide some better nutrients to the trees. We'll also add an aggregate sort of gravel surface in the walk area. It will have permeability, so water will be able to get into the trees. Um, it will also we're also going to apply mulch around the base of each tree, which will create some separation between the general public, and again also provide some additional protection for the trees, which will also help the roots and the long-term health of the tree canopy. Again, most of these trees are in fair condition; they're not in great condition, and so any step to mitigate the health of the trees we think will be really important. In addition, we're adding new seating as a part of the plan. So we'll install movable cafe-style seating and tables. Again, designed to encourage pedestrians to pause and enjoy the space. Because they're movable, they can be moved around into flexible seating arrangements. And as I mentioned before, the new lighting will have sort of will be underneath the landscaped trees, and it will be illuminated by overhead string lightings. That was sort of the arrangement we made with urban forestry that will be attached to some decorative steel poles all along the east and west sides of this landscaped area. The art is designed by local artist Mei Lee. And so again, that lighting will create a really nice, warm, inviting atmosphere during the evening hours, and it sort of help to highlight the space's features and again create a space for pedestrians to gather. Next slide. So this is the proposed design. So you can see the sort of the green big circles, of course, the trees. The smaller little green circles is the seating that will be arranged sort of movable sections. Most of the seating will be concentrated toward the very busy intersection of First and M Street, but there'll be seats throughout. You'll see in a later slide how the sort of the kind of green areas that you see around the tree canopies and the tree caliper is the areas where the bid will mulch and add mulch to the trees. Again, in order to sort of protect the trees and try to keep them around as long as possible. Um, and we'll see just in the next slide the lighting. You can kind of see it here in this design. The lighting is sort of the light green line that sort of zigzags in between the trees. Part of that design and part of the reasoning for that design, again, is to um, we had to navigate around the critical root zones of the trees to satisfy the needs and requirements of urban forestry. But as a part of it, that we think is helped to create a really compelling and interesting design. Next slide, please. So here is a part of that approved tree preservation plan. These are just to give you an idea of some of the elements. So there will be no dig edging around the mulched areas. That won't require us to get anywhere near the critical root zone of the trees. The furniture, as I mentioned, will be cafe style movable seating throughout the alley. We'll have some separation fabric. And then just as a sort of a psychological barrier around the trees, we'll do sort of a hook and rope style setup to, again, try to keep people away from the mulched areas around the trees. As with all of our projects, we will have a maintenance plan with DDOT. So our bid team will maintain both the elements that we're adding, the physical elements, as well as, again, our goal is to try to keep the trees around as long as possible. So we will support with ensuring that the mulch is adequate and that the any additional landscaping that we add are taken care of. Next slide. So now on to the design. So this is the Noma Alley visual. This is looking as if you were from at First and M Street. So this is the view south. You can see there will be colorful poles throughout, again, all the way from M all the way down to L Street. There will be string lighting that does not attach in the ground in any way. So that was one of the requests of urban forestry. It will attach directly to a street light aerially, so it won't have any sort of conduit in the gravel area. The lighting will be again zigzag so that it doesn't touch any of the critical root zone of any of the trees. And you see sort of the light brown areas is the area where we will mulch around each one of the trees. Next slide, please. This is also looking from First and M Street, but again, just to give you an idea of the perspective. I know in the image it looks like that's hardscape, but it's not hardscape. It is the aggregate and gravel, so that will allow for water and penetration to the trees. This is what urban forestry approved. And again, we will have seating throughout. We are also exploring some color changing lights so that depending on the season and depending on if it's Christmas or Easter or Pride, we'll be able to change the lights out and according to the season. Next slide, please. This is the same area, but the perspective is looking north. So this is sort of in the area of Wonder Garden. So looking north up First Street. Again, same layout as on the northern section. Colorful steel poles. They're about 9 feet tall. So outside of the area where someone can touch up and grab them. The poles are steel, galvanized, and they are in line with the colors both of the NOMA bid and the banners that are adjacent on First Street. Next slide. And this is also again looking north, similar profile, just showing the perspective of human beings in the space. Next slide. This is an aerial view just showing the entire profile of the project. And again, it's pretty long. It's a pretty extensive project. The primary section that we'll focus on in the beginning is the area from M Street down to the curb cut. So that will be the first section, and then we'll go down with the south section that's adjacent to Wonder Garden. Next slide, please. And again, same profile, but this time looking north as if you were at L Street. So you can see the different designs of the Wonder Garden section, the parking lot, and then the north section next to 131M. Next slide, please. So, as I mentioned before, we had several approvals to date. As I mentioned, the ANC unanimously approved the original plan back in March 2024. And so, in order to move forward, we just need an updated letter of support from the ANC. Again, we passed a big hurdle with urban forestry. They approved the site plan in April 2026, and so we're happy to get that approval. And again, that was the major sticking point that we had to this point. Next up, hopefully with the approval of the ANC, that would allow us to move forward with DDOT's Public Space Committee. And so we would ideally love to present at the May 2026 meeting. And our goal is to install this, when the neighborhood is most active, sometime around June or July of this year. Next slide, please. And yeah, that's the project. We're really excited about creating another public space in the neighborhood. And again, one thing that we've really noticed is not only will this add to the opportunity for connection in a very busy part of the neighborhood, but it also really is a contribution to public safety with the additional lighting in a somewhat darkened part of the neighborhood. So we're happy to to answer your questions. And thank you for the opportunity to present.
Thank you, Brian. This is great. Love activating sidewalks. I just have a quick comment. Are you concerned? Well, let me see if I can use the technology that Commissioner Dale used. Is this the bike lane right next to it?
It
Would
is.
that be, are there any like concerns about pedestrians not paying attention to folks on bikes, or that's not an issue? I mean, I love the idea of sharing spaces, but just like making sure that if they're like moving back and forth, or moving along these areas, like have you, and I don't want you to change the design significantly, but have you considered about adding some like maybe landscape or anything that could like create some barrier so like we protect both from sudden interactions, especially if they're like youth or
Yeah.
like kids like, jumping into the bike lane suddenly or anything like that.
Yeah, so yeah, we have considered that, and sort of one of the ways that we've mitigated against that potential concern is sort of where we're placing the seating and sort of the activity zones, and so most of them will be placed closer to the sidewalk and not so close to the bike lane
Yeah,
with the goal of trying to mitigate that very concern that you brought up. We also the mulch areas around the trees are pretty substantial, and so it sort of helps to concentrate where the activity will ideally be centered, and so we think that will help to mitigate you know, any sort of connection between folks and
right.
bike lane. It is a concern that we'll be monitoring to see if this is actively encouraging people to walk in the bike lane. Hopefully not, but if it is, we'll consider sort of some additional sort of liners around the space. We didn't want to add it into the original plan because we didn't want it to become a tripping hazard. Um,
Right.
we will sort of monitor it once we get it installed.
Yeah. Sounds good. Thank you. Commissioner Hans.
Yeah, I have a question just in terms of the lighting. In relation to the existing street lamps, are they going to be much brighter and are they going to be the same height? And the reason I just asked is because there are apartments across the street. I'm just curious if that was something that was considered in terms of how bright it could be, that it could maybe disturb residents.
Yeah, so the lighting is it's kind of an Edison style light. We've got some installed right now. The Noma Farmers Market opens tomorrow, which we're happy about, and so we've got the exact same lights that we purchased for the art garden, which will open tomorrow, are the ones that will be installed here. So it's very subtle light. It's not like a that bright bluish light. It's a kind of a calming light. It also will be for most of the year will be under the canopy of the trees. And so we believe it will just add the additional lighting for safety without being obtrusive. It's relatively a relatively calming light.
Got it. And it's not going to be on the side of the apartments. It's only going to be the side of the parking lot in Wonder Garden, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Commissioner Fiedler and then Commissioner Prince.
Yeah. Hi. This looks awesome. I live in that apartment building right across the street, so I've been thinking about ways that this could be a better pedestrian thoroughfare way for a long time, so I'm happy that this is happening. This might be a question for the Department of Transportation, but this assumingly is going to be really attractive to pedestrians and everything. There is a there this road, this between M and L and M, there's Pierce Street in the middle.
Hmm.
Um, and it's already a problem with jaywalking at a place where there's not a crosswalk right there. And also illegal left turns from cars turning from Pierce onto First Street. Is there any conversation happening about making that better for pedestrians at that Pierce Street. There, yeah, that intersection there. Is there any way we might be able to get a crosswalk there?
Yeah, yeah. So, well, I will note that I am after 4 years of being in the district, I'm also now a Noma resident, and so I also moved to that very intersection. So I'm very happy to be a part of the
Hi,
neighborhood.
neighbor.
Hi, neighbor. Yeah, I'm down here at the Revel, so I'm right across the
You're a
street from you.
constituent too now.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm fully committed into the neighborhood. So yeah, so I think that intersect one, and you notice different things, and so I have noticed as you're mentioning, people jaywalk there because it's sort of the simplest crosswalk there. I also noticed it between on L Street where the stairs that go up to the MBT and the other side of the hotel. Nobody walks to the intersection. People just sort of cross at those two sections. So I think I was fumbling through some old bid files and I saw some old plans from years ago about sort of creating some kind of connection between Pier Street. So I think it's something that we can bring up in sort of a future or interactions. There aren't any sort of concrete plans right now for that, but I think it is something that we can explore. Again, I noticed it where you're mentioning right there at Pierce and at the MBT, and so I think we're doing something similar at the Meander at M Street between First and North Capitol Street and creating a pedestrian walkway. And so I think it's something that we can explore. And certainly if it's an ANC concern, that will help to give some additional weight to our ask.
Great, Commissioner Prince.
Thank you. This looks very attractive. I know this stretch of road from behind the handlebars. I have never walked it, but I have often ridden past it, and I think this will be very, very good. I notice, and that all of the existing street lamps would come out. That is correct, right?
I'm sorry, no, they will not come out.
Or
The
they would
artist
stay.
just yeah, they will stay.
Okay. And so my question was whether there would be enough light. Are these smaller lights, or maybe if you leave the existing street lights, are any of them the kind that can be adjusted remotely for brightness? Some street lights, that can do that.
These will be ones that can be, I mean, the way that we would do it and to get the right brightness is just finding the right bulb.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, you mean on all these little lights? You'd have to change them all
We'd have
if you
to,
didn't get it right from the start.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think the ones that we purchased because we bought them when we bought the ones for the art garden, they're ones that we would sort of kind of have to change we'd have to change the entire bulb if the lighting was too bright or
Uh-huh.
not bright enough. So yeah, we'd have to change all the bulbs.
Is there any place in the district already that's like this? Is there a twin already? Is anywhere?
I'm trying to think. If I'm trying to think if I think the Canal Park has a little section on the north side of Canal Park that has sort of some similar lights to this. I don't know of any other project that is doing what we're doing in the sense of just trying to reclaim. I mean, this will create what is in essence like a linear park, but it's not a park. It's just
Yeah.
some leftover DDOT land
Yeah.
uh, that we
Okay. Well, it looks great. What other odds and ends that occur to me are your drawing doesn't show you probably gonna need some trash cans. You may have some cigarette butts up here, so you might need a cigarette, one of those vertical things. But
Mhm.
and in the future, if it becomes popular, you might want to put down one of those fabulous public toilets, because I could see in good weather, people are going to want to hang out there. It looks great.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we'll definitely add some more trash cans for sure.
Commissioners, any other question? Go ahead, Commissioner House.
Sorry, one more question was just, have we tested any bulbs yet just over there to just see how bright they actually are when it's dark?
So the bulbs that we did do a lighting test at the beginning of the project. That was a couple of years ago, just to make sure that the lighting was, again, it's like it's a dual goal. We want to add adequate lighting so that it feels safer, but
Right.
again, not be obtrusive. These
Yeah.
lights will all point down, so they won't offshoot up into the apartments. Um, I think the best visual of it are the lights that'll be at the art garden tomorrow. It's the exact same light, and again, it's a very subtle light that adds to safety, but does not sort of spill out into the adjacent areas. But we did do some tests when we first started this to again to allay that initial concern about sort of spillage.
Great. Constituents who are with us tonight, any comments or questions? Okay. This is great. Thank you, Brian, for joining us. So the ask is just another letter for resolutions showing our support for the project. So when you present before DDOT, you would show that ANC 60 supports this project.
Correct.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. We'll move to discussion and consider the resolution, and then I'll be in touch with you to provide you with a document if it passes. And this is a great project. I walk on first most days when I go to the office or bike there. So would love to see it get activated like that. That would be great. Thank you, Brian, and thank you for joining us earlier for your flexibility. We will be in touch. Have a good night.
That was great. You as well. Thank you.
Okay. Before we vote on a resolution, any comments or questions?
Yeah. I think it looks really good. My only, I guess, thing I just don't know is, and he did explain it, but just the brightness. I don't live there, but that's a lot of bulbs. And so I was wondering maybe if we do approve it, there's just like a caveat that we do support this pending that the bulbs don't make any, you know, inconvenience for any neighboring residents or something like that, just to be safe, because we don't really know how bright it is, right? So that's my only thought, but I think it's a great idea otherwise.
Commissioner Fiedler, do you have any comments, any concerns about that? I don't know, like there could be like very small light bulbs, and they said that they would be flexible with changing them if they cause an issue. So that's I'm not too concerned about that, but I'd like to get your thoughts.
Yeah, I don't live on that side of the building, so I can't say for sure, but I feel like um certainly if they are egregiously bright, I could see it being an issue, but I think like I know, I mean, I live on the courtyard side and there's like very bright lights in the courtyard and so I feel like it's pretty standard for the building at least already. Um, I'm curious. I don't know how it works, but if it is possible to have the note about the crosswalk in the letter, that would be awesome. Because that crosswalk is my whole reason for being here. So, I would love to have that noted.
Yeah, I think no, I agree. I think like for the purpose of this one, we'll just comment on the project. But what we could do for next month is prep a resolution where we vote, and then like DDOT would have to give it greater weight when we say collectively, like we want you to consider adding crosswalk. And if you have other um thoughts about what could be improved too, like you can add it. I can work with you offline. I've done it in the past
Sure.
where
Yeah.
I had a
Love
set
that.
of recommendations for DDOT in my single member district, and then we collectively voted on them. And then it just have like they don't have to follow that, but then like it has stronger weight when we
Right.
collectively vote on that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. Commissioner Otter for Prince, do you have any thoughts?
This is great. I'm supportive.
Yeah, me too. Looks good. Yeah, I'm not very worried about the lighting. I think,
Same.
yeah, I want it to be bright enough that it'll be safe
Mhm.
and not so bright that people look at it and go, oh, noise pollution, light pollution. But I'm not too concerned about it.
I think like this like rope could be
Plus,
like
the
flexible
trees.
enough to add it and not add it. Yeah.
Yeah, and the trees overhead are gonna block a lot of that light from reaching the buildings across the street. I think. I think. Now,
Seems
I
plausible
do
to me.
recall that in an earlier version, actually, he addressed it, and it was about some lighting at the base of the trees, and apparently it wasn't feasible. I remember asking about that, but that's out of the. Yeah, looks good. No concerns.
Commissioner Fiedler, do you want to move a resolution to approve it since it's your
Sure.
called the
Um,
alley?
that's my LA. I move to that we vote on a resolution for this project. Do I have to say anything else?
Great. Can I second? So Commissioner Fiedler moved, Commissioner Abukala seconded a resolution that shows ANC 6E support for the Noma Alley. I'll be calling on you to vote. Did we lose? Sorry, we
I'm
lose
just before
Commissioner.
we vote. He didn't he say he was going to come before us in the May meeting also, and or am I?
That's a different meeting in May.
That's a different thing. Okay, because I wondered why
Different
we
thing.
would have to consider the same thing twice. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. No.
He wants our approval to go into that May meeting.
So
Oh,
he has a meeting with
not the
DDOT
ANC
Public
meeting. I get it.
Space
Yeah, yeah,
Committee,
Yeah.
and he would want this approval
for
before
the
that meeting. Yeah.
gotcha.
I know, I
Okay.
feel like too many May dates for like the car park for this. Like I don't yeah, I don't blame you for asking. Okay. So I'll start by calling on you, Commissioner Al-Adif,
Aye.
Commissioner Rogers,
Aye.
Commissioner Fiedler.
Aye.
I vote aye, Commissioner Prince
Aye.
and Commissioner Hans.
Aye.
Great. So the resolution passes with 6 ayes, 0 nays, and no abstains. And can move. Oh, go ahead, Commissioner
Just,
Prince.
I'm sorry, before we move on, I may have missed it, but if there was a second, we should say who it was for our note taker to make. I don't
Oh
remember
yeah,
who
Commissioner
seconded.
Fiedler moved and I seconded the
You
motion.
seconded. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for catching that. Okay. Moving to the next item, we have a presentation by the Mount Vernon Triangle um, Community Improvement District. Hello, Kenyatta. How are you?
Good evening. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes, can hear you and see you
And
okay.
is
Other than Grace, is there anyone else from the SED?
and it may be Caitlin as well. I'm not wholly sure, but if she's out there, then she should be let in also.
Caitlin. Don't see Caitlin. We're also a little bit early. Oh, I do see Caitlin. Yeah. Great. And I will go ahead and pull up your slides. Go.
I'm
Can you
seeing a
see the
spreadsheet.
slide? Oh, I changed it. Let me change that. Okay. Can you see the slide now?
There we go.
Yeah. Great. We're ready whenever you're ready.
All right. Thank you, commissioners. And before we get into it, from one bid to another, I really want to compliment Maura and Brian and their team. I don't know if Brian's still hanging out on what they're doing over there over in Noma. That was a really exciting presentation. And that's kind of the work that we all get motivated around, and that's taking space that's underutilized and unclaimed and really turning into a community asset. So that was really exciting to look at, and I'm glad you all sponsored that and approved that project. And also, both Brian and I raced from the NOMA Bids annual meeting, which was great to come do this presentation, our respective presentations. And so we're back here tonight with our team, asking for ANC 60's support and also funding requests to help sponsor financially through the funds that are available at the ANC for a very specific portion of what we're calling Springfest 2026 at Cobb Park. We came to you all last month with the funding request that was a bit more nebulous at the time, and you all asked us once things got further down the road and we had specific line items that you could fund legitimately, that we come back with that request. And so, we are much further down the road. Believe us, believe me when I say we're working very hard to show the community a really good time on Saturday, May 9th, from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. You see the visual that we put together, to illustrate the experience that we want everyone to have in the park, whether you're a child, a parent, a young couple, a senior, or just out there by yourself, just hanging out. This is a park that's for everyone, and everyone has a place in this park, and that's what we really wanted this illustration to show, and we think we did that very well. And so Saturday, May 9th, from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., there's going to be live music, local artists, food from some of our favorite community food retailers, lots of activities for kids like face painting, some sidewalk art, chalk art, and games for both the young and the young at heart. So games for everyone. Still holding out hope that maybe we can get a bouncy house in there, but that's an internal conversation. And then we'll have Vita with us doing fitness, flower arranging sessions, and the first 50 people who participate in that will be able to take a free bouquet home with them, and also some giveaways. The first 100 people who show up will get a complimentary lawn blanket from courtesy Mountford and Triangle CID and commemoration for the event, and we'll also have a photo booth, and that's always a fun way to commemorate and celebrate all our time together in a space like this. Next slide. So, like I said, we're much further along, and what's going to bring the energy, the excitement, the vibe, as some might say, to the park will be the music. And we identified 3 local bands that are going to do just that. The Too Much Talent Band, the Experience Band and Show, and Crush Funk. And if you've seen any of these bands play, you know that they bring it. So there's going to be a lot of dancing, a lot of people having a good time, listening to these 3 bands. And we think that this will be a very appropriate funding line item for the ANC to fund. Next slide, please. And so what we're asking ANC 6C to do is to be our official music sponsor. And so the cost for the 3 bands, $6,000. That'll cover the booking fees for the band, so $6,000 all in. And we will identify you in all of the marketing promotions and the event collateral. We would identify ANC 6E as the official MBT Springfest 2026 music sponsor in all of our marketing promotions. And so that is our request to the ANC tonight for consideration, and we're happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you for presenting, commissioners. Any questions, comments?
Sure.
Oh, and the one thing I just wanted to state, Commissioner Prince, just before you go, is for everyone listening, the Office of ANC has deemed this the celebration an allowable expense pending your approval of our funding request.
Right. The party runs from 11 to, I think it was 6 p.m. How long would the bands perform?
Each band will perform approximately an hour to an hour and a half, but
each?
Roughly
Or total?
That's right.
Yeah. Oh, each?
Yeah, each.
Oh, so that's like 3 to 4.5 hours of music. Yeah. Okay. Um, no, I don't have any more. Oh, what part of, I'm just curious, would they be, is the Star Pavilion going to be ready by then? Would they, it's not really, no, where would they actually physically be?
That's a great question, and I wish I had also included the site map. We do have a site map, and so the stage will be located on the paver area, the circular paver, in front of the Star Court Pavilion. Unfortunately, the Star Court Pavilion will not be finished until midsummer, and so they've made significant progress. But that area will actually be fenced off, so you'll be able to enter into all four gates of the park, but there will be a fence in front of the Starco Pavilion that will then run alongside that area I call the Grove, that grassy area behind the Starco Pavilion, that will prevent you from getting to that portion of the park. But you will be able to enter from the 3rd Street side of the park. And so the stage will be in front of the Starco Pavilion facing east, so facing toward the Georgetown building at 111 Mass Ave.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Constituents, do you have any comments or questions? Um, and then say like we um would want to provide like just like part of the funding, would that, you know, result in the cutting of the hours, or like do you have other sources? Like let's say like we come and out after this discussion with like we would, you know, allocate like a $3,000 grant for you. Like, do you have other alternative plans, or would you just cut off, you know, the hours by half?
No, we're going to proceed with the show as planned,
Okay, as
in
planned. Okay,
anticipation of the ANC, in anticipation of ANC funding the $6,000 funding request.
okay. Sounds good. Okay, thank you for presenting. Commissioners, before we move to discussion, do you have any last comments or questions? Okay, great. Thank you for joining us, and we will follow up after we discussed and make a decision on this, and we'll reach out to you with a resolution and follow up. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you all very much. Thank you.
Thoughts, comments? I think I know where Commissioner Hans stands with having a formal process. And I have done some research about how other commissions do it, and it's more about the process, but not the selection. Um, it's more about whether having a committee or some form of an application, um, with the requirement that Office of ANC deems any application eligible. I think there's a commission that does it by quarter, which means like every 3 months, but I don't know if I love the idea because like we would just be holding funding from certain projects who could be needing the funding. Um, but my question is more about like whether we want to fund this ask, whether you think, I mean, it's eligible, but whether you think you want to fund it through a ANC grant. Go ahead, Commissioner Prince.
Yeah, I've thought about that a little bit, and I've reviewed the guidance we received from the Office of ANC that we may choose our level of funding. And I'm mindful that this is one element in a much larger picture. There are many more events going on. It is the one official opening party of the park. In the future, of course, there will be other events there, but this is it. This is the big deal. So I certainly support funding this, and I support funding it completely in the $6,000 amount, which may be a little on the large side, but it's an exceptional event. It's not a block party; it's a neighborhood party. It's a big deal. And I would also like to offer the perspective, that this is this will not strain our budget. This is the type of event that our funding is intended for. I don't know if the other commissioners are aware, and I believe in transparency, so I'm going to say how much our quarterly allotment is, and it's $5,611. So this is just slightly more than we get every 3 months, and we've accumulated now many, many quarters of funding unspent. So I really support it. Now, with regard to the separate discussion of a process, it's true, we don't have a process. I would absolutely support establishing a process, whether it's a committee involving members of the public, or just us or something, and with criteria and so forth. But on the other hand, we have the clock ticking on this one. If we establish a process, we're not going to be able to fund this. They'll do it anyway. But and of course, funding is fungible, and so what we spend on this, the Mount Vernon Triangle Community Improvement District can dedicate resources to other projects in the neighborhood. So that's kind of my view, and I do support both this grant request and setting up a process with however we determine it should be to consider future grant requests. Over.
Yeah, I think the process is more probably just like more procedural situation, because I think as much as like it's good to have criteria, but then, something like this could be excluded if we don't have entertainment activities as a criteria for acceptable projects, or I don't know. Yeah, it's tricky. Other than like, I think it's reasonable to say like you have to give us an application 2 weeks before a meeting, and then present on the meeting with, giving us like enough time to consider before, and then we vote on it, like, and or like even like have an application a month before. But it just feels like more like procedural for me, because other than saying that Office of ANC deems this eligible and is something that serves the community, I'm not sure um, the specific criteria. Anyway, Commissioner Hans and then Commissioner Fiedler.
Yeah, so I support the event and I do want to fund it too, just personally, just because I live right by it. But I don't feel comfortable until we have our own ducks in the row, which we don't. And especially because this is a finite resource, like this is different than other things we approve. So until we come up with a process, and for me, it's not just a process, it's more like it's the right thing to do, in my opinion. I will be a no on every grant request until then.
Yeah, that's fine. Commissioner Fiedler.
I am myself a lover of process. I'm a project manager by trade. Really, I would be happy to help set up process for whatever that is. In my limited experience, have this being my second meeting, I think it's really important we figure out how to use this money and that it isn't just sitting in a bank account, and when we have opportunities to use it for good things in the community, that we take those opportunities. And I'm really excited about this event. I would love to be a part of making it a success. And I found what Dale had to say about how Mount Vernon can use the money differently to be very persuasive. So I too am pro process, but I will be voting yes on this.
Great. Commissioner Lada for Rogers, any thoughts?
Yeah, Commissioner Rogers speaking. Yes, I support the grant. Been waiting a long time for this. And yes, I support the event. Long time coming and way overdue.
Great. Commissioner Alada.
Yeah, I'm gonna also endorse process. I'm also going to endorse this grant. We discussed process the last meeting. We've had a month to make a process. I'm happy to support whatever it takes to do that. But in the interim, we've had one grant applicant come. They are putting together a reasonable grant to use public funds for public good. And so until we get an overwhelming number of grant applications and or set up a process in the that can manage what maybe eventually becomes an overwhelming number of grant applications. I'm going to be supportive of projects that use public funding for this type of thing.
Yeah. I think also part of the delay in having a process is that I'm not sure that we all agree on one one way to do it. I think for me, maybe just like a procedural process about how to apply and then possibly just have us vote on it is a solution because I think once you get, I don't know if there's a great way for having, a criteria other than, it's eligible, it supports the community because then like it's very subjective. Like someone may think that music is a good reason, the other is not. And this is what we're doing by having the votes. Like maybe this is like congressional earmarks in my head that like it's about what you see as an appropriate way. And Office of ANC came to us and said, they don't have their own procedure or process about selecting projects other than they vet the application. It's not mandatory to give away grants. It's a decision that the commission makes. And yeah, I don't know. Like I think we just have to be cautious about not excluding unintentionally by being like only these types of projects or there's like this like way of scoring the projects or selecting projects and at the end of the day I think like our vote collectively is a way to vet it like whether we think it's appropriate or not appropriate but we can continue this conversation. Commissioner Prince.
Yeah, certainly we should continue, but just briefly, I would envision a process where which is both reactive and proactive. Reactive in the sense that we would be able to consider grants that came in, volunteer grants that were unsolicited, and we could weigh them against some kind of general wish list that we had established and as in addition to the fixed rules such as that the grant should go to a nonprofit, that it must not duplicate services that are to be provided by district agencies and other things like that. You can't have personal gifts and so forth, and that's what OANC evaluates. And the proactive part of it would be to uh, decide, oh, we want to solicit grant applications to accomplish X, Y, and Z, and then we would announce that and say would be happy to receive, right? And so it would be solicited grants. But as it is now, this is a kind of an unsolicited grant. It's going to be what we would call a sole source grant, uh, and uh, and I don't see any reason, not to vote. Well, those are my thoughts on how we can do this going forward. But in the meantime, here we have a fabulous opportunity that
Yeah,
I think checks all the boxes, and we should take it. And it's also sort of time bound.
great. So let's see, what's the language? So it would be making a motion to make a 6K grant from ANC 6E to the Mount Vernon Triangle Community Improvement District to cover van booking fees for the Spring Festival 2026 at Cobb Park. Okay. So I move to make a motion to approve an ANC 6E $6,000 grant for the Mount Vernon Triangle Spring Festival 2026 at Cobb Park to cover band booking fees. Anyone would like to second?
I'll second it.
Okay. That was mouthful. So Commissioner Abukaloff moved and Commissioner Prince seconded that ANC 6E approves making a $6,000 grant to the Mount Vernon Triangle Community Improvement District for the Spring Festival 2026 at Cobb Park to cover band booking fees. I'll be calling on you to vote. Commissioner Al.
At the risk of making you say more words again, can I add a
Did I
quick
miss?
suggestion to
Yes.
this? With the provision that the MVT said recognizes the ANC 6E as the musical sponsor of the event. I think this is a good opportunity for us to promote the
Yes.
ANC and encourage people to get involved with the ANC's
Yes.
work.
Sounds good.
They mentioned they would, but I just want to make sure that's included as part of our funding.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely a good idea. Okay. I will I move to make a motion that ANC 6E gives a $6,000 grant to Mount Vernon Triangle Community Improvement District for the Spring Festival 2026 at Cobb Park for covering band booking fees with the condition that our sponsorship is acknowledged and advertised at the event. Does that work? Great. Commissioner Prince, would you want to second again?
Second that.
Okay, Commissioner Bukov moved and Commissioner Prince seconded motion to approve giving a $6,000 ANC 6E grant for the Mount Vernon Triangle Spring Festival 2026 at Cobb Park to cover band booking fees with the condition that our sponsorship for the music part is acknowledged and advertised at the event. I will be calling on you to vote, Commissioner Adif.
Apologies for making you say all that, but
All good. It tested my breath.
you're
And
getting
I
the parliamentary
survived.
procedure down pat now.
Commissioner Rogers,
I support the grant.
Commissioner Fiedler,
Aye.
Commissioner Prince,
Aye.
and then Commissioner Hans.
Nay.
Okay, so we have five yeses, one nay, and no abstains. And with that, the resolution passes. And then let's see what's the other item. Okay, the other item is an ask by the Office of ANC. Share my screen quickly. So I think it's a procedural item that we would give them our approval as an agent for the purpose of completing initial setup, account registration, and 3-year renewal of supplier profile in the district DIFS and FAST systems, including the automated clearinghouse direct deposit authorization form to collect required information that must be submitted as part of the district supplier registration process. So this is necessary just to ensure that the allotments that we have continue to be done electronically into our checking account. So this is just a technical issue, but they recommended that we vote on this just to like emphasize that we approve having them as our representative in these DC systems, so they would deposit the money directly into ANC 60 checking account. Any questions, comments about this? They are the entity giving us the money, so I have no issue with approving this, but just wanted to see if you have any questions or thoughts.
I will confess I don't entirely understand what this does, how it works. I'm reading this and I'm
So
lost in a sea of words.
yeah, I don't blame you. It took me, I don't know if I also fully understand it, but it just means that let me see. They would be our representatives, and let me actually pull up the
Doing the
email.
initial setup and now account registration, 3-year renewal of our supplier profile. I guess we must have a supplier profile. I don't know what diffs is. I don't know what pass is.
Let me see what they asked us for, if they have more information in the email.
Okay. Well,
Uh,
if it's, I'm gonna trust a wait and see on this.
right. So it
Commissioner,
says
maintain active, receive funds
that's
by
how I felt about it.
offering to maintain these accounts on behalf of ANCs as your designated agent. Or I think it sounds like something they already do for us, but I
Yep.
could be mistaken. Yeah, well, if
It said when the district updated their financial system, they set up ANCs with 3-year renewal cycles. When ANCs do not update or refresh their accounts after 3 years, direct deposit functionally stops. The
mm,
Office of ANC is offering to take on this very limited administrative role for each ANC, provided we have your approval. Um, yeah, it seems like it's an administrational issue. Um, I don't know. I trust the Office of ANC with they have been doing this. It just means that we don't have to
yeah.
keep doing the renewal ourselves with this profile every 3 years in the system. Any questions or comments? Okay. So I move to vote on a resolution that um, gives ANC 6E formal authorization to designate the Office of Advisory Neighborhood Commissions as our agent solely for the purpose of completing the initial setup, account registration, and 3-year renewal of our supplier profile in the district's BIFs and pass systems. Anyone would like to second?
Second.
Okay. So Commissioner Abukov moved and Commissioner Lotov seconded, voting on an ANC 60 resolution, giving our formal authorization to designate the ANC as our agent solely for the purpose of completing initial setup, account registration, and 3-year renewal of our supplier profile in the district's diffs and pass systems. I'll be calling on you to vote. Commissioner Lotov.
Aye.
I vote aye. Commissioner Rogers,
Aye.
Commissioner Prince,
I
Commissioner Hans,
Aye.
and Commissioner Fiedler.
Aye.
Great. The motion passes with 6 ayes, 0 nays, and no abstains. And now moving to the open forum section. Anyone, if you have any commissioner or constituent, can raise any issue for discussion. We have a limit of 2 minutes per item with additional time for A and C follow up. I'll start by asking commissioners if you have any issues you would like to discuss.
there's one thing I would just mention in passing to for visibility, which is that Commissioner Hans and I have both been contacted by constituents about the rumble strips in the ramp leading to 395, and we have written to DDOT, and some time has elapsed. And at one point, the rumble strips were supposed to have been removed because they're audible in the nearby residences, and we'll stay on it. I didn't see a reply from DDOT from the latest message of the other day. I'm hopeful now that with Noah there, maybe as our liaison, perhaps we can move this forward. But that's one thing that's kind of still a pending issue in our neck of the woods.
Great. One thing I would flag is that I drafted a draft job description for the executive assistant, and then the scoring criteria, I ran them both by Office of ANC. They had no issues other than flagging that it's not a full-time position with benefits and making sure that it's a contractor was hourly paid. I'll follow up by email, but if everyone is comfortable with that, we can start by posting it, and um, then um, we'll see how many applications we receive and move the process forward, and then yeah, the other item is just having a procedure manual or guidance about grants. Um, Other than that, I don't think there's anything time pressing. Commissioner Hans?
Just also on the whether we want to do the trainer as well and coming up with the application for that and the criteria for that too. I was thinking maybe we finalize it during the next executive meeting, which is probably what, in 2 weeks, and maybe we post it after that.
Yeah,
I'm,
I
I might be able to get some input just on the criteria from like somebody who does it professionally, who might be able to help, which is why.
yeah, for that one, I'm still not sh like I'm still not sure if because the trainer, like how many hours do you think they would be doing the trainer? Is it like a 1 2 week thing, or is it like more permanent, like or not permanent, but just like more longer term? Like how long do you think?
Yeah, so my thought was we keep them until the end of the year, so that way the trainer they can kind of shadow the trainer for the next whatever 6 months and kind of learn and get the ropes of everything. And then when the new terms start and
Yeah.
stuff, they can also just take it on and yeah, that way there's a little bit of a buffer, was my thought. So we'd have two people for about 5, 6 months.
Okay. Yeah, I thought that the trainer would like be there for like a couple weeks or a month or two just to train them, and then they would be on their own, because I was like, is it worth like having a whole process for like applications and interviews if they're just going to be, even like if they're going to be there for a couple months where they could be hired as a consultant like Karen just to do, the training for a couple months. If we know someone who has trained others and they're capable of doing that, but also I would be open to see like what others think about that.
I would say for me, I think just to make sure we're being as fair as possible to put out an application. Yeah, we may have somebody, but who knows? There might be other people that could do it too. I don't know. So that was my only thought, to put an application out for that.
Okay. Um, okay. Sounds good. Any other issues or comments? Also, constituents who are with us, if you have any questions or comments for us, you can use the raise hand option or type in the Q&A box. Okay, not seeing any. Last call for comments and questions before we wrap up. Okay. Relatively quick meeting or before 9 p.m., which is good. So next meeting will be on the last Wednesday of May, which is May 27th, 2026. Um, thank you for um, joining us tonight. I will move to make a motion to adjourn the meeting. Anyone would like to second?
I'll second that.
Okay, Commissioner Abukaloff moved. Commissioner Prince seconded a motion to adjourn the meeting for April 2022. I'll be calling on you to vote. Commissioner Al-Adif,
Aye.
Commissioner Rogers,
Aye.
Commissioner Fiedler,
Aye.
I, Commissioner Prince,
Aye.
and Commissioner Hans.
Aye.
Sounds good. The motion passes with 6 ayes, 0 nays, and no abstains. And for timekeeping purposes, it's 8:42 p.m. and we're adjourning the April 29, 2022 meeting. Thank you everyone for joining us and have a good night.
Thanks all.